On May 19, 1536, a fateful day in English history came to pass on Tower Green in London, a day when Anne Boleyn, the second wife of King Henry VIII, was executed in a spectacle that would forever alter the course of the Tudor dynasty and the young nation itself. The accusations. In the months leading up to her execution, Anne Boleyn faced a barrage of incendiary charges. King Henry VIII, desperate to annul his marriage to her in order to marry Jane Seymour, a union he believed would secure him the male heir so sorely needed for the Tudor legacy, accused her of a litany of crimes including adultery, incest, and conspiracy against the crown. Although modern historians widely agree that these allegations were largely manufactured to rid the king of the woman who had once enchanted him and to facilitate the break with the Catholic Church, at the time they carried the weight of royal decree. The charges were not only politically motivated but also designed to tarnish her reputation beyond repair. The trial. Anne's trial was, by modern standards, a dramatic sham. With King Henry himself presiding over the proceedings, there was little room for fairness or impartiality. Contemporary accounts suggest that the evidence presented against her was dubious at best, composed of whispered rumors, dubious testimony, and outright political maneuvering. Nonetheless, she was found guilty within a remarkably short time. The proceedings, which scarcely resembled the concept of justice we cherish today, were more an instrument of the king's will than a genuine legal process. The execution. At 8 o'clock in the morning on that grim May day, Anne Boleyn was led to the scaffold on Tower Green, the site that had borne witness to her royal fall. In a departure from customary practice, her executioner was not the typical British axeman but a French swordsman, a choice likely intended to offer her a quicker, more merciful death since a sword's precise stroke was believed to be a cleaner, less brutal method of execution. As she ascended the scaffold, Anne's composed demeanor and dignified bearing in the face of imminent death captivated those who gathered to witness the event. Eyewitnesses detail how even the executioner appeared moved by her grace, hesitating as he raised his instrument to deliver the fatal blow. Her final words. Accounts of her final moments paint a portrait of solemn resignation and heartfelt defiance. And reportedly addressed the assembled crowd with pensive calm, informing them, "Good Christian people, I have not come here to preach a sermon, I have come here to die. For according to the law, by the law, I am judged to die." With these words, she framed her execution not as a personal defeat but as an inevitable conclusion dictated by the law, a law that had been twisted in the service of royal ambition. Her final prayer, which moved many in attendance to silent reflection, underscored her acceptance of the fate imposed upon her, even as it highlighted the tragic injustice of her downfall. Legacy and historical impact. The death of Anne Boleyn was not merely the end of a royal romance gone awry, it was a turning point that resonated far beyond her personal tragedy. Her execution paved the way for further radical changes in England, most notably the establishment of the Church of England. Free from papal interference, Henry VIII's subsequent marital and political decisions set in motion the English Reformation, a series of events that would irrevocably reshape the religious and cultural landscape of the nation. Moreover, Anne's legacy endured through her daughter, Elizabeth I, whose own reign would later become one of the most celebrated periods in English history. In many ways, the tragedy of Anne Boleyn, her courage in the face of insurmountable odds, and the controversies surrounding her demise continue to fascinate historians and the public alike. Reflections. In recounting the tumultuous final days of Anne Boleyn, we find a narrative rich with political intrigue, personal sacrifice, and historical consequence. Her story is not simply one of scandal and execution, it is a reflection of the broader themes of power, legitimacy, and human courage in one of England's most pivotal eras. The events of May 19, 1536, remind us not only of the ruthlessness that can accompany the exercise of absolute power but also of the enduring strength of a woman whose legacy influenced the very course of history. By examining the detailed historical accounts, from the nature of the accusations to the peculiar choice of a French swordsman and the poignant dignity of her final words, we gain a clearer understanding of how Anne Boleyn's life and death continue to echo through time, shaping our understanding of the Tudor period and the foundations of modern England. Thanks for listening. Like, comment, ring the notification bell, and please subscribe, as that will help us get more videos out to those interested in the Middle Ages. See you next time on Medieval Chronicles 1066. Stay curious.